Welcome everyone to another Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Wherever you are, whatever you may be doing, thank you so much for making Ref Brandon and the Todd Family part of your day. We always greatly appreciate if you jump on here live here on this Sunday evening. Feel free to leave a comment in the comment section down below. Make sure to give the video a like, a thumbs up. If you have not yet subscribed, please do so and share the video on all social media platforms. As you can tell by the topic of the video, tonight's main topic is going to be drafts and the like thereof. Good evening, Keveron. Glad to have you here as always. But first, let me quickly say that we are down to the Final Four in college basketball. We've had some really good matchups, some really good games, but for the most part, the games yesterday and today were not very good. One ended up being a good game today, but for the most part, the majority of the game was not good. But, we had a lot of close games. Hey there, Austin. Glad to have you here on this Sunday evening. But yesterday, Illinois was the first team to punch their ticket to the Final Four by defeating Iowa 71-59. So a 12-point game there, but that game never really was. It never was like a complete blowout, but the game never was that close. It's going fantastic, Austin. Hope it is for you as well. And then Arizona beat Purdue by 15 points, 79-64. Arizona right now, in my opinion, is the best team of the four, but that doesn't mean they'll win it, but they're definitely playing the best of the four. And then the biggest blowout was Michigan and Tennessee. That was earlier today. Michigan won by 33 points. And then the game that didn't look like it was going to be close, but ended up being close, UConn came from behind and beat Duke 73-72. It looked like it was going to be the fourth double-digit game of the weekend. Duke led by 15 at the half, and they led by double digits most of the second half. And then the second half of the second half, UConn just started chipping away at the lead, slowly but surely. And then the last 20 seconds, Duke just looked like they just forgot what basketball was. So the second straight year that Duke's had the best player in the country, and they've got nothing to show for it. And I seen Austin some of it, but I was gone most of today with church business. But I saw a little bit of it, but the Tennessee game wasn't worth watching. I watched some, and I was like, yeah, this ain't really a game. It's a game, but it was a Michigan glorified scrimmage. But tonight's main topic is drafts and the draft happenings. And I don't just mean NFL, because I know the NFL draft is a few weeks away. But earlier this week, I want to say it was Thursday, the NBA out three proposed different ideas to stop tanking. And they're doing it because the NBA commissioner probably only has 5 or 6 more years as the NBA commissioner, and his time will be up. Hey there, Sadie. Glad to have you here. So he's trying to fix tanking so that his tenure isn't remembered as being the guy that let tanking get worse. But this year, about half the league is trying to tank. And it got me to thinking, is the drafts, the way they're handled now, a good idea? Because in my opinion, they're not. Hey there, Jacob. Glad to have you here. And Sadie, I don't recognize your name. If this is your first time being here, for whatever reason made you stop by the channel tonight, thank you very much. Feel free to give the video a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. But we won't use Major League Baseball because, their draft is the longest one. Plus, it's the best one. It's the only one that makes any sense at all. And we know that baseball is the best sport there is, so we won't use baseball. We'll use the other two main sports, basketball and football. If you look at basketball and football, their drafts, both of them pretty much for the most part are done the same way. I know the NBA supposedly, draws numbers for you to find out who the exact number one pick is, but it's still, the bottom barrels of the NBA. The NFL is always the bottom feeders of the NFL. And it's supposed to be to try to help teams that suck not suck anymore because you were so awful, you get the number one pick, number two pick, whatever. And you do have exceptions like the Spurs. The Spurs were really good years back and they lost all those players. And then they had a stretch where they were really bad and slowly getting worse. And then they went out and got Victor Wembanyama. And now in 2 years' time, they've gone from being really bad to being one of the best teams in the NBA. But that's because they're ran good from top to bottom. Most teams, most franchises that way. You look at the NBA in most years, who gets the top draft picks? In most years, it's the same old teams. Most years, you've got the bottom feeders. It's always the Hornets. It's always the Wizards. It's always the Kings. It's always the Pelicans. It's always the Blazers every year. You look at the NFL, almost every year, even though the NFL is all about parity and the NFL has a salary cap, most years in the NFL, who gets the top draft picks? It's the Raiders. It's the Jets. It's the Browns. It's the Titans. It's always the teams that are notoriously bad. I think if you draft high every year and you suck every year, then the process is broken because you wouldn't have the same teams in both sports getting those high draft picks every year if it worked, because they wouldn't keep sucking every single year. Now, you can blame it on whoever. It's the head coach. It's the general manager. It's the draft experts. It's the film viewers. Whatever you want to blame it on doesn't matter. The fact is it's not working. If it was working, you wouldn't have the same teams getting the top draft picks every year. And even the NBA's current proposal, all three suggestions are dumb. The third one is the least of the dumb, but it's still dumb. But it's not going to fix it because there's still no punishment for tanking. They're just trying to keep you from tanking, but they're still not punishing you for tanking. Hey there, Kira. Hopefully I said your name correctly. If not, I apologize, but glad to have you here. I don't recognize your name. This is your first time being here for whatever reason made you stop by the channel tonight. Thank you very much. Feel free to give the video a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel. But we always say the purpose of the game is to win. Herm Edwards one time said, you play to win the game. It's all about winning. We all want to win. If we all want to win, then why are we rewarding teams for sucking? You shouldn't reward teams to suck and then turn around in the same breath and say it's all about winning. That seems kind of counterintuitive to me. You're going to punish the teams that win and reward the teams that lose, but then try to tell me that it's all about winning. That seems kind of counterintuitive to me. To me, you need to completely change the draft the way it is. I think if you're the best team, you should be rewarded for being the best team, and you should get the best draft pick. And the teams that suck should get the worst draft pick. And then that way the teams that suck would decide, hey, you know what? We shouldn't try to suck so bad because, we're not going to get any better if we keep going out here and getting the last draft pick every year. So let's try to win one or two more games so that instead of getting the last pick, we'll get the fourth from the last pick. That way you've actually got incentive to win, because when you keep rewarding these teams for sucking, you're not giving them no incentive to not suck. Hey there, Ima. Glad to have you back. It's been a while since I've seen your name in the comment section. So glad to have you back. Hopefully everything's been going well for you. Just busy, so glad to have you back. But I don't think any of it makes any sense, because if what you were doing was working, you wouldn't have the same teams in both sports getting the high draft picks year after year after year, because they would be getting better, because that's supposed to be the purpose of the high draft picks. But obviously, it's not working. So I say we change it and make it to where if you win, you get the high draft picks. And it is good to see you in the comment section. You're one of those that you comment so much, and I see your name so much that all of a sudden, when I don't see your name for a couple of weeks, I'm like, well, I hope everything's okay, because I have not seen that commenter, in a while. So glad to have you back here in the comment section. That's just my personal opinion. I thought about that earlier in the week when I heard about the NBA's proposal. I thought, well, you know what? All three of your ideas suck, but you're still not giving any kind of incentive for the teams that tank to not tank. You're not, punishing them for tanking. You're just trying to make more reasons why they shouldn't tank. But if a team's going to tank and they think they're getting a high draft pick by tanking, and it's going to help them in the long run to tank, they're going to tank until you make them not tank. And you're not. So I think we should switch it up. If you suck and you tank and you lose, you get a low draft pick. If you win, you get a high draft pick. So you're trying to make the teams that lose on purpose to not lose, which is supposed to be the purpose of sports anyway. You're not supposed to want to lose. You're supposed to want to win. Hopefully you've subscribed and clicked the bell. I know I've had some people tell me that, people that are on social media that I talk to on Facebook, some of them tell me that they have subscribed and they've clicked the bell numerous times and they still don't get, notified. So I'm not sure. Maybe that bell thing has changed over time, but I know, the channels that I have subscribed to, I get dinged and I get notified when those channels go live. So I'm not sure what's up, but I know I've had some folks on Facebook that, message me on Facebook about the channel sometimes, tell me that they don't get notified. So I'm not really sure what's happening. But all I can tell you is check every day, because I'm live just about every single day. You get notifications only from people who reply to comments I make. Okay, well, I'll comment. If you ever go in the comment section, and you can always go back on any video that's posted and leave a comment, and I'll see the comment and I'll reply. But when you come on here and comment during a video and I say something live, I really have no reason to go back later on and say anything, because I talk to you live on here. But if you ever go back on one of my videos and comment, whenever I see it, I will reply, and maybe that'll help you. But any thoughts on any of this, please feel free to let me know. If you think the current way they do the draft is good, let me know. If you don't, let me know. If you think my idea is the answer, let me know. If you've got a better, kind of comment on what you think would be a better solution, let me know. But I just think if you look at basketball and football, and most years, the high draft picks, it's always the same old teams. So obviously getting draft picks highly isn't helping you, because you continue to suck. So obviously what they're doing now isn't working. It's broken. I think it's time to try something different. But let's go ahead and get our dad joke of the day in here. Last night, I ordered duck in a fancy restaurant. I was shocked when I saw the bill. Hey there, David. Glad to have you here. And that does it for today's Ref Brandon and the Todd Family YouTube video. Until next time, it's Rep Brandon saying, just like in pro wrestling, life can be over by the count of three. Tell your friends and family you love them. Bye. Hey there, Kaylin.